Okay, so Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, also known as DHCP, is a protocol designed to assign IP addresses to devices. And the reason for that is because a device will not have a permanent IP address. It will have a permanent MAC address, but not a permanent IP address. The IP address that devices have are dynamically assigned, which means given a temporary IP address. And this is why this protocol is called Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, because we are dynamically assigning IP addresses to our hosts. So let's take a look at how this is done. So this is a school network, and let's say you are outside of school. So you are not on your school network at the moment. At this point, the IP address is nothing. Your device does not have an IP address because it is not on a network. But then when you enter your school and your device is now on the school network, it's in range of this router here, it will be assigned an IP address by DHCP. So how does this process happen? So what your device will do is it will send a discovery message to the router. And how will it do this discovery message? Because we said it doesn't have an IP address, so how can it communicate with the router? Well, it will communicate at the link layer. And recall our TCP IP stack. This is the lowest layer, and communication happens by the MAC address. So your device will either be connected through Ethernet to the router, which is unlikely because you're going on the school network, or it will send radio waves, but they will only contain the MAC address of your device. So it'll be the destination MAC address, which is designed for this router, and the source MAC address in your packet will be the device's MAC address, which will allow the router to know how to send the data back to the device without knowing its IP address. So once the router has received this discovery message, it will look in its available pool of IP addresses. So this will have many different IP addresses. And it can say, right, okay, so we have this IP address available. So I'm going to send an offer. So the router now will send an offer to the device and say, here you can have the IP address 192.0.0.4. And then if the device is happy with that offer, it can send another message to the router and say request. So the device likes the idea of that IP address, so it will request that IP address. The router will send the final message, which is the acknowledgement, and we'll write ACK for short because it's acknowledging that the device would like the IP address that it offered, and it acknowledges it and says, okay, you can have address 192.0.0.4, and you can have that IP address for 6 hours. So that's the time to live. So now this device will now have the IP address 192.0.0.4, and it will be able to communicate with any device and router now at the network layer by using the IP address instead of the MAC address at the link layer. So that was DHCP.